Amelia Earhart was an American, famous for being the first woman in the world to be a pilot, and also the first brave and determined female pilot in the world to successfully make a solo flight across the Atlantic. She was also a journalist and a writer, famous for recounting her adventures, and actively fought for women's rights, as well as encouraging women to participate in all social activities. One of her most popular quotes, when she was advised not to do things that were dangerous to her life, was, "People are not afraid of how to die, but how to live." Amelia Mary Earhart was born on July 24, 1897, and was reported missing on July 2, 1937, in a plane crash, and officially declared dead by the United States government on January 5, 1939. She was the first woman to receive the Distinguished Flying Cross of the United States, and also set several world records, authored best-selling books about her flying experiences during her lifetime, and played a key role in founding the 99s, an organization for female pilots. Earhart became a member of the Purdue University aeronautics faculty in 1935 with the mission of advising women who wanted to become pilots. She was also a member of the National Woman's Party and a supporter of the Equal Rights Amendment. During an attempt to circumnavigate the globe in a Lockheed Model 10 Electra in 1937, Earhart disappeared in the Central Pacific Ocean near Howland Island. The U.S. government spent a lot of money searching for her, but the search was ultimately unsuccessful. Earhart's disappearance remained a matter of controversy until December 2010, when a group of college students found the remains of a young woman on Nikumaroro Island, Phoenix, Kiribati. DNA tests were inconclusive as to whether she was the famous aviator. Amelia Earhart was born in 1897 in Atchison, Kansas, into a progressive family that encouraged her children to develop naturally. Amelia and her sister had an adventurous childhood, exploring the nearby woods, climbing trees, sledding, and collecting toads and moths. With her grandfather's blessing, young Amelia built a model roller coaster in the backyard, beginning to nurture her passion for the sky. In 1920, Amelia's father bought her a $10 ticket for a 10-minute flight at an airport in Long Beach, California. I knew then I had to be a pilot. She fulfilled her promise to herself, learned to fly, and in 1923 became the 16th woman in the United States to be licensed as a pilot. After Charles Lindbergh made history as the first pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic, this motivated her even more to prove herself, becoming the first woman to make the same journey. She finally decided to do it on May 20th, 1832. The plane departed from Newfoundland, New Jersey, intending to reach Paris. The first leg of the flight was marred by strong winds, icy conditions, and mechanical problems, landing nearly 15 hours later in Northern Ireland. When a farmer saw a female pilot emerge from the cockpit and asked her how far she had flown, Amelia replied, "From America." Her reputation was sky-high, both literally and figuratively. She won prestigious awards from the U.S. and French governments and the National Geographic Society, including the 31st President of the United States, Herbert Hoover. She befriended many dignitaries, including First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Her career took off, and she financed her flights as a writer and lecturer, and even designed her own line of women's clothing. In 1935, she was paid $10,000, equivalent to $185,000 today, to become the first person to fly from Hawaii to the U.S. mainland. That same year, Time described her as the world's #1 female pilot. Purdue University hired her to run a career center for women, and she inspired many to move from home economics to engineering and other careers in aviation. So at age 39, Earhart thought she had one more ambitious flight before she was ready to spend the rest of her life on the ground. She was determined to fly around the world. When her husband learned that his wife's plane was missing, he sent a telegram to the Navy and President Roosevelt. But even before the message reached Washington, the Secretary of the Navy ordered a search to begin. The search cost $250,000 a day. The battleship Colorado steamed in off the Phoenix Islands, launching 3 planes from her deck. The pilots flew over Gardner and McKean Islands and Carondelet Reef, finding nothing but coral reefs and shipwrecks. As the days passed, the searchers' consensus was that the chances of finding Amelia alive had dwindled to 1 in a million. Her husband still clung to the belief that Amelia had not crashed into the sea, but had landed on dry land, because the radio batteries placed under the ship's wings would not work underwater. The 2-week search cost $4 million, a staggering sum in 1937. No evidence was found. Amelia Earhart was officially declared dead on January 5, 1939. One theory is that Amelia was a secret government agent and was taken prisoner for trying to spy on Japanese-occupied islands. Ultimately, however, neither theory has been proven correct, and so Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American history, inspiring dozens of films, songs, plays, and books. In its report, the U.S. government concluded that her plane ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean, drowning. What happened after the crash remains unclear. Given the mystery surrounding the event, several theories have emerged that are still debated to this day.